Oh, no, my name is Andres, full name Andres Benito Llanes, but I usually just go by Andres. You can find me on Instagram at @@_Llanes. You'll find my stuff there. I don't publish music, I just like play it because it's fun. Yeah.
To raise funds for Protect Salinas Renters. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, give it up, Protect Salinas Renters. All right, we've been at this. We could say we've been at this since 2023, but technically we've been at this for over a year. since we initiated the referendum. Andrew and his brother Jacob got that, they started igniting that, boom. And in less than a month, we were able to collect 10,000 signatures to put a referendum on the vote of the city council at that time that they wanted to repeal these protections. These protections, in which we have the information right here. I'll be coming around. You can ask for more. I know everyone got one, but we want to make sure that our residents are educated about these ordinances. It didn't just fly out of the sky. It wasn't just some left-wing liberal pipe dream that we thought of, right? No, this was a concerted effort, and it centers in on our most vulnerable residents, the ones that are upholding this local ag empire, right? And we all know what we're talking about here, okay? We're watching the news, we're watching it, how it unfolds. And so, right here in Salinas, we have this power, we're flexing it, and we're doing this together. I'm gonna shut up, and I'm gonna pass the mic to Mr. Barrera. Let's give it up for Chris Barrera.
So thank you everybody for attending today. You being here is so important. You being here shows that you support the community, the renters, and for doing the right thing at the end of the day. You know, because at one time all of us were renters. If you're a property owner, you were a renter at one time. If you have kids, they're going to be renters. We all go through that phase, right? And to be labeled return on investment, you know, there's so many more things more important than just money. I know it costs money to own properties, to maintain them, but also, you know, you should also think about keeping your renters in their homes, not on the streets, not becoming part of the problem that we do have here in Salinas and throughout the whole state, you know. So, you know, and I'm not pointing the blame at anybody, because there are a lot of good owners, good property managers, but the few that take advantage of the system, that's the problem right there, you know. And there are state laws, but not all the time they are enforced, right? And so at the end of the day, if they're not going to be getting enforced, we need to do our part here locally to make sure that these rules and regulations are enforced. And that's what Protect Salinas Renters is all about. So thank you very much for coming today. We have our wonderful pianist here doing this thing. Just FYI, he has a tip jar right there. Please drop by and throw something into his tip jar. He's a college student. Where are you going to college at?
Santa Clara.
Santa Clara State.
Oh, wow.
All right.
It's not cheap.
Yeah, yes, it's not cheap.
No, it's not.
And what are you majoring in?
Mechanical engineering.
Mechanical engineering. Where did you go to school at?
What was that?
Where did you go to high school at?
Salinas High. I mean, North Salinas High.
North Salinas High, yes.
Right.
Guess who else went to North Salinas High?
The
So did I. Class of 1986.
Right there.
What was that?
That's a class member right there too, right?
2001.
2000.
At North Salinas High School?
That's where I started, yes.
All right. And where did you graduate from?
I actually graduated from Salinas High. But I went to North Harbor freshman year. Oh my goodness, oh my
The
God.
story there.
Oh, there's a long
You grew up in
story.
Santa Rita, but you went to Salinas High.
Oh, there's a story there. Yeah, something like that.
So at this time, I think it would be awesome for us to go around and introduce, you know, one another, you know, and we'll start right there.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Esmeralda Flores. ¿Por qué estoy aquí? Estoy aquí porque creo en la causa de Protect Salinas Renters. Considero que las mejores comunidades no son aquellas donde todos piensan igual, son aquellas donde las personas deciden escucharse, respetarse y trabajar juntas por el bien común. Esta tarde No estamos aquí únicamente para recaudar fondos. Estamos aquí porque creemos que la participación ciudadana importa, porque creemos que una voz informada puede cambiar el rumbo de una comunidad, porque creemos que las decisiones que tomamos hoy influirán en la vida de las familias durante muchos años. Cada contribución, grande o pequeña, representa mucho más que un apoyo económico. Es una declaración de esperanza. Es un voto de confianza en nuestra capacidad para construir una ciudad más fuerte, más estable y más unida. Quiero agradecer a cada persona presente. Gracias por dedicar su tiempo, por creer en esta causa y por demostrar que el liderazgo comienza con el servicio. Estoy convencida de que el legado más valioso que podemos dejar no son los edificios que construimos, sino las oportunidades que creamos para las personas, así como para los estudiantes. Mi hija. Tengo 2 hijos. Y una de ellas está aquí conmigo, Itzayana. Cuando protegemos a nuestras familias, fortalecemos nuestra comunidad. Y cuando fortalecemos nuestra comunidad, aseguramos que Salinas siga siendo un lugar donde las personas no solo vivan, sino donde puedan pertenecer, crecer y prosperar. La verdadera fortaleza de una ciudad no se mide por el valor de sus propiedades, sino por la dignidad con la que viven las personas que la llaman hogar. Muchas gracias.
Eso.
At this time, I'd like to introduce a local hero, an icon, your hero in my book, previous city council person. He's going to be talking about what he's up to now, his future plans, and his time at city council when PSR was created.
Yeah.
Anthony Rocha.
Hi folks, a lot of you know me from a lot of different capacities. Here I'm as an individual, and I'm glad to be here with all of you. Honestly, it makes me very, almost I would even say emotional to see all of you here. Protect Salinas Renters and the 4 ordinances almost took on a life of their own, and it created a movement. And it's so amazing to see that, because when we first considered this ordinance and the subsequent ordinances, we were all told, don't even think about it, don't even try, don't even introduce it, it won't go anywhere. And we knew that at the time we had a challenge of not only passing these ordinances, but the greater burden and responsibility of creating a movement around protections for tenants and for having rents that are actually affordable. Not just in the context of what we think about affordable housing, but generally speaking, the relationship between tenants and their landlords, and making sure that tenants are able to have a meaningful control about that relationship. The reason I say that is because the Salinas Valley and the Central Coast is in many ways a very stark depiction of the vast income inequality that exists not only in our nation, but in the world. In the Central Coast, you have an economy that is primarily of frontline service workers. But you have cost of living that is nowhere near what the salaries of our hardworking workers in our communities make. And the reality is we're facing, and we have to be very intentional, direct, and aggressive in tackling this reality. We used to think that gentrification was looming over us and our communities, but gentrification's already there. You know what I mean? And now we have to really figure out what we do to address what's happening now and prevent its extrapolating effects in the long term. And so that's what these ordinances are really about. It's keeping people housed, providing meaningful protections, and making sure that quality of life is there for a long term. and really changing fundamentally the way people perceive the realities of being a renter in our modern times. Before, people used to think that renting was a step in the ladder of what your ultimate life should be, which is being a homeowner. And what it did is almost created this feeling that if you're a renter, somehow you haven't made it, somehow you're not worthy of meaningful protections, and that's simply not true. If you look at the function that tenants play in our economy, without tenants, there is no economy here. I mean, there is no other sector in which people contribute their incomes to that you're contributing essentially more than 50 to 65% of your income towards one expense. But that is the reality of housing today. And so what the 4 ordinances did was making sure it's a realistic cap on the allowable rent increases under the limits of Costa-Hawkins. We really thought that 2.75% was not only something reasonable, but it was backed by data. We didn't just sit around the table and say, what's a good number? We conducted an economic analysis, and the economic analysis showed that 2.75% was a number that could both sustain tenants and allow for a reasonable return on investment to landlords. And that's what this is about, fairness and creating an equal playing field. So that was one of the ordinances. If you look at it, very rarely do workers have their incomes go up by 10% a year. Everyone would love that. But for whatever reason, we've allowed ourselves to think it's okay, or people try and tell us it's okay, that people's rent goes up by 10% a year. I mean, if you think about it, the largest expense likely in your budget has the opportunity to go up by 10% a year. That financially is not feasible for, not only individuals, but if you look at any sector, I mean, that's a really stark increase on an annual basis. So we wanted to control that. 2.75% we felt, and the data showed, was a fair number. On top of that, we recognize it's not just about how much your rent goes up by, but it's about what the protections you have while you're a tenant in that housing. There was a time to where people would be tenants in rental units for maybe 1 to 2, maybe 3 years. Now the reality, and it's reflected in my life story as well, I lived in a rental unit for 20 years, that same rental unit. And my family took care of that rental unit, so much so that when we moved out, the landlord said, wow, I don't even have to do any upgrades to your unit. You have the original furnishings of this unit from 20 years ago, same carpet, same everything, and we don't even have to do it. The only reason we're going to change it is because it doesn't match any of the rest of the things we have for the rest of the apartment complex. And so that's the reality that a lot of tenants face now. They're likely going to be long-term tenants, and what that means is it's not just a tenancy for an individual, but it's a household for a family. And so people are raising their children, and they're seeing their kids go off into college, oftentimes in that same rental unit. And so what we wanted was there to be meaningful protections when it came to evictions, when it came to what the relationship would be like with tenants and their landlords. And the reason we brought that up was because it became somehow acceptable through the laws in our state and our country that a landlord could say, you know what, actually, even though you haven't violated the contract, even though you haven't done anything that warrants you to be evicted, I actually maybe want to take this unit off the market, or maybe actually want to give this unit to a family member. So thank you so much for your 20 years of tenancy here. You have 60 days to move out. And think about that, 60 days for a family to relocate, not only in their community, but it could be that they have to move out of the area. And that simply was unacceptable. We think about the relationship when it comes to tenants and their housing. It covers so many aspects of their lives. If you're a student, you're going to be going to a school district and a set of schools based off of where you live. So if suddenly your life is abruptly upended and you have to move, now you're going to have to move to a completely different school district, a different set of schools, and that's detrimental towards children's long-term educational success. So there's so many different aspects to it. So we want to make sure we control that relationship more. That was really the impetus behind the tenant protections. So what we did was we said, okay, we recognize that you have certain rights as a landlord to your unit, But you also have to balance that with the public health needs that tenants have with respect to their housing. So we said if for whatever reason a landlord decides to have a tenant vacate their unit, despite not breaking any contractual obligations and the lease agreement, they should be given 3 months to be able to either not have to pay rent, or the landlord would upfront those 3 months of tenancy costs, the rent, to the tenant. We thought that was an extremely fair compromise, because what it said was it takes into account if you're going to move into a new unit, likely you're going to have to put in first month's rent and a security deposit. That alone could be up to around $9,000 and $10,000. I don't know many people, but the vast majority of people that I know do not have $7,000 to $10,000 in their bank account, right? And so what does that look like when someone has to vacate a unit? We want it to be a transition that is dignified and doesn't disrupt an entire family. That was really the thought process behind the tenant protections. Also, we're a community in the Salinas Valley in particular. There are almost no other places in the country where we have as high of an immigrant community as we do in the Salinas Valley. And what that means is we have to recognize there are language barriers that exist for so many of our tenants. And what we did is we required that landlords provide leases in the language that tenants use on a regular basis. That is a very fair request. If someone's going to sign a legal document, they should at least have the opportunity to understand what is in that legal document. And if you are going to engage in business, and while we understand that ultimately, the properties you own are you own them, but you have decided to engage in commerce. You have decided to enter the business realm. So now you must conduct yourself as any respectable, lawful business would do so, with protections for consumers and with obligations for how you conduct yourself. This restaurant here has to have a permit. They have to follow strict guidelines. And you're coming in here and you're paying somewhere between $20 to $50 when you come in and eat here, right? Now imagine you're paying over $2,000 at a time for a unit. And at the time, the belief landlords thought they didn't have to register their units, they didn't have to follow, standards with respect to how they treated tenants that went beyond state law. We just didn't accept that. You're engaging in the business sector, and people are paying more than 60% of their income towards you. You should abide by reasonable standards and reasonable protections for consumers. So that was really the thought process behind the tenant protection ordinance. But we also recognized that it went beyond just the letter of the law, but we needed to better control the individual interactions between tenants and their landlords. And so that's what the impetus behind the anti-harassment ordinance was. Because what we wanted it to be was very clear that landlords cannot harass tenants to the point to where they make it so unbearable for a tenant to remain in their unit that the tenant vacates it, despite being in compliance with the lease. And that's really was a main concern, because if you were abiding by your lease, but the landlord wanted you out, we didn't want it to be so the landlord would stand outside your door every day and tell you why he wants you out, or why they want you out, right? We wanted to be very clear guidelines with respect to the conduct between both parties. These are all very reasonable ordinances, but at its core, what the ordinances do is it upends a power structure that exists. And at the core of that power structure is money. And whenever you challenge money interests, you get pushback. And that's what this is really about. It's about making sure that working people have an opportunity to succeed, to have an opportunity to live with dignity and respect in their units, and that we have reasonable standards. And that's what these ordinances are about. The rental registry, like I mentioned, it's a public health concern. We want to make sure that whoever is renting units in the community, we have a list of who they are. We have contact information for who they are. And that should something happen, we're able to reach the landlord or the owner of the property in a timely manner. Before the rental registry, all you have is essentially the assessor's records as to who the owner was of that property. And those assessor records could be outdated by decades at a time. And so we wanted an updated list for those who are engaging in the business practice of renting units. That's what these ordinances are about. They're incredibly important for our community. And so it's really going to take a community effort to champion them and to make sure that they remain intact. And again, these are reasonable measures to protect both tenants and to have a respectful environment with respect to landlords and tenants. On a more deeper level, Salinas is a community that has a deep and rich history in organizing, in social justice, in worker advocacy, and it is absolutely incumbent upon the leaders of this community and the community members themselves to make sure that we live up to the expectation of what it means to be the Salinas Valley. We champion workers here. We make sure that workers have an opportunity to thrive, and that's what these ordinances do. So it's great to see everyone here. There's so much more work to do, and we're going to be very engaged in this campaign. And so shout out to everyone here, and the work continues.
All right.
What's your veneer?
I'm Mateo. I go to CCMB. I major in history, Marxist history, and that's mostly what I study.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
My name is Sally Cornetta, and I'm a retired teacher, still subbing. And this is one of the reasons why I'm involved with Protect Salinas Renters, because I'm always supporting the children. I'm a strong advocate of the students. And the students always share stories with me. And when I hear their stories, I feel like I got to do what I can for these kids. One of the saddest stories was the story of a little girl wanting me to buy her artwork because she told me that her family could not afford to pay for rent. So she was going to help with her artwork. Can you imagine that? 7-year-old child. That is just one story of many that I heard from children. So that's why I'm involved in this.
I'm Demetrio Pruneda. I'm here because I champion fairness, equality, and justice for all of us. And there is no fairness, equality, and justice for the vast majority of humanity. If you really want to know the truth is that about less than 1% of the world population control 95% of the wealth of the world, and I don't think that's just. I don't think that's equality. I don't think that's justice. So we have to come together and co-create another reality from the bottom up, because the reality that they are giving us comes from the bottom, from the top down. And I am of the opinion that we are stronger than they are. All we have to do is use our infinite knowledge that we have to co-create another reality from the bottom up.
Well, my name is Andrew Sandoval, and I'm a father of 4, lifelong resident of Salinas. And you know, these ordinances and this rent stabilization is probably the biggest. It is the biggest issue that could benefit our residents here in Salinas. I can't think of anything more important this upcoming election that it could directly impact the quality of food that people eat, whether they can participate in sports, whether some people buy their medication. And so for me, this is so crucial this year that we continue to support this, because I can't think of something in our grasp that we can do to impact our city in a positive way other than these ordinances. So that's why I'm involved.
Are you gonna give them a good side? Good. I don't have a good side. My name's Eric, and I just think this is just a really super important issue for all of Salinas. Thank you.
Yeah.
My name's Patty. I'm Eric's friend.
I do have a friend.
You got friends?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
I used to be a Salinas renter, so I know what it's like. I'm a marina renter now, but this is really important issues to support. So that's why I'm here.
All right.
So my name's Wes White. I'm from Salinas. Not quite a renter. I'm more subsidized than a renter. and I'm lucky because there's no way I could afford rent. There's no way I could prove my income to even afford, you have to have 3 times the rent. So what's that, like $2,000 for a studio right now, which is just insane. So I'm just lucky that I'm not having to worry about a rent, but at the same time, there's no way that, because I deal with people who are homeless, leaseless. They're not homeless, they have a home. But so you don't want to end up in a leaseless situation where your number can't even match. So I'm glad that there's so much strength and fervor for this, because I'm glad to see the energy for it no matter what. And sticking up for other people is what society's supposed to be about. So, right on, Protect Salinas Renters.
I'm Hal Brokey. I'm a primary care doctor, and I hear people tell me all the time that they have to choose to have a place to live rather than take care of their health.
Thank you for being here.
I'm Lauren Ricker. I'm currently serving as the executive director at one of our smallest elementary schools in Salinas, but I have worked all over the county in the last 25 years. And one of the things that I've noticed most about teachers is that they'll live in their cars, they'll live in garages, they'll live in substandard areas just to show up to work every day for our kids. And it's really, I should say, criminal for teachers with master's degrees having to rent garages in order to show up for our kids every day.
Ana Barrera, been teaching in California for going on 30 years. 2022 Monterey County High School Teacher of the Year, and 2022 Monterey County Overall Teacher of the Year. I am a renter. My rent it's hard to do. I'm right now going at $2,655, and that's a 2-bedroom. My sisters own homes, and I pay more than they pay for their mortgage. I'm looking at retirement, and it's going to be renting a room, and it's unfair. All my work here in California to have to depend on that. New teachers in the Salinas Valley Federation of Teachers, they struggle on the income that they get and the rents that they're having to pay to live here in Monterey County. This is, a housing justice issue, and it's a struggle for our communities up and down California. This is a struggle, and so it's unjust, and the predatory lending, the banks are behind this. People need to also address that. I've asked my landlords why they're doing this, and it's a corporate right here. We're in Creek Bridge. I rent here, and they're right now this week changing once again the company that controls this, because it's the banks that are behind it. The banks, the company that I rent to, they told me that it was the banks that were pushing them. And that's why my rent had to go up almost $200 every year. It's predatory. And that's why
My name is Daniel Munoz, and the reason why I'm here is because of this rental ordinances, the shredding of them. I was made homeless, single parent, raising my son because of a predatory landlord. I see people like Anna struggling, and I've been there, and it's not right. And I'm gonna fight as hard as I can to make sure that these ordinances stay in place for us here in Salinas. I think about, it took me years to get my life back together. They threw me out on the street. They said I owed money that I didn't owe. There's nothing I could do about it. And this is back in 2010, before the ordinances were passed. If this happens to somebody now, these ordinances will protect them and give them the money to find somewhere else. I want these ordinances to stay so bad. I'm willing to do anything that I can in my power to make sure that we win this election. And I've been a day one supporter for PSR, excuse me, Protect Salinas Renters. This affects everybody, and this is real personal. And I hope this goes through. I hope we repeal the repeal, you know. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope we can do it. I know we could do it if we all get together and we fight the good fight. I know we could win. But this is us against the ultra rich. You know, that's what this is. This is a fight that's going on all over the country. You know, this isn't unique to Salinas. This is going on all over the country. And it's very important that we stand up and stand together to fight these greedy powers, these predatory landlords, you know, and these corporations. And yeah, thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Peter Zalai. I am a candidate for mayor. I'm here because I do support the rent ordinances. I feel that what the last council did by overturning them was dishonorable and it was dishonest. They did not run on that when they were campaigning. And so I think that's a trust issue. And I believe that in our community we have obviously a housing shortage, and I think we need everything above the line approach. We need to do everything we can, whether it's improving permitting or zoning or regulatory relief, whatever it is. And so I think, at least in the short term, we need to be supporting all 4 ordinances. But I don't think we should demonize property owners. I have a friend who's in her 80s, and she owns property that she rents out, and she is a good landlord, and she cares about her tenants. And I think it's very, very careful that we distinguish between those property owners that are predatory and that are abusive towards our citizens and those that are not. I think it's very important. So I'm very glad to be here, and I'm definitely going to be supporting the ordinances in November.
Thank you.
So, my name is Trish Triumpho Sullivan. I'm a professor at Hartnell College, and the reason I'm here is twofold. One is I've been homeless, and with 3 of us together living in a school bus in Ventura in the state parks, not on drugs, not on alcohol or anything else, we could not afford in a year and a half of all of us working, and not wasting money, we could never afford the first, last, and deposit to get into a home. And because of that, I left California. I came back with my first husband, and now I know at least 2 professors at Hartnell College that are homeless, and 4 of my students in summer school this summer are homeless and are, you know, sleeping in their cars or couch surfing on friends' couches. So I'm here because I feel that it's urgent that we make sure and protect people who are renting, because frankly, no one can afford the rent in Salinas.
Hi, I'm Mike Muter. I'm an attorney with California Rural Legal Assistance. I personally don't practice in the housing area, but a number of our attorneys do, and we see every day the incredible power that landlords have over tenants, and we see the incredible power that tenants themselves have in organizing, in standing up and fighting for their rights, protesting violations, seeking legal redress from unfair and unlawful evictions. So we utilize the ordinances in our practice in defending tenants who face unlawful evictions. We see the importance of this ordinance and protecting it. We see other jurisdictions throughout California also protecting tenant protection acts. And I personally, speaking for myself, really do hope that we can build a groundswell of tenant power, not only in Salinas, but across the state. and affect some change, statewide change in Sacramento, that's an aspirational dream for sure. The deck is stacked against that kind of change, but it's something we should be thinking about and fighting for and moving towards step by step. And Salinas is an important battleground for that battle. And I'm personally committed to doing what I can to protect these ordinances. They're really important to tenants. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Luis Jaramillo. I'm a retired attorney. I used to work with California Rural Legal Assistance, where our good friend here, many years, is now the director statewide, and it's really an honor to have him here. I think we're all familiar with the fact that we have serious problems for farm workers getting stuck into hotel rooms, getting stuck into houses, overcrowding single unit family homes. We're also familiar with students that go to school hungry, and they go to school hungry because they spent the night in a car, or because they spent a night being really cold and not having anything to eat in the morning. We're familiar with the wages that are paid to so many throughout our community, so that people have to work two jobs, oftentimes, just to make ends meet. So the people who are suffering because of the economy, and an economy that talks about, well, it's a capitalist system, so you charge as much as you can get away with, and you make money. And if you're like Trump, then it's never enough that you're making money, and you never want to pay taxes for what's going on. What Mike was talking about is a lawyer can go in and have the building inspector inspect the buildings and decide if the rent is excessive, if the place is habitable. And a lot of times, if the place is not habitable, it's because of the running water, or the electricity, or the roof, or vermin, or the foundation, because the house slopes. There are a lot of reasons for it. And this is one of the strategies for making sure that landlords are held accountable. It's an accountability system, and we're responsible for that accountability system, so that this is what democracy is all about. This is who has the power. This is who will find equity and justice in our community. And so we're all responsible. And the best thing about this is that it is pulling us all together. I look around the room and I see incredible people here among us. Teachers, professors, union workers, one lawyer, and so, you know, we have the ability, we have the experience, we have the intelligence because of our own life process. And because of that, we're here because we're taking care of ourselves, our children, and our neighbors. And so as neighbors, we can come together. As neighbors, we can raise our voice. And as neighbors, we can invite others to join us. So thanks for giving us the opportunity to participate in this.
Top that.
Oh, okay. I'm Ann Jaramillo. We've been married 54 years. You see why? I mean, what am I going to say after that? I was a teacher in the Salinas Union High School District for more than 30 years. I taught in every single middle school. I loved those kids. Almost all of them were, you know, either directly out of Mexico or closely aligned with that, so, you know, and they struggled. They all struggled. And I knew it because of what I saw in their faces every day and what was going on. So I have always felt that. Now, I mean, we know what the rents are in Salinas. We know. One of our sons lives in New York City. And when I told him, he's like, "What, Mom? Seriously?" And he lives in Manhattan. And so the amount that people have to come up with every month is unreasonable. And then to have it, you know, a way in which the landlords can control all of that, that's not going to happen. That should not happen. It should not ever happen. So I'm here, Luis is here, and I want to invite all of you. We are part of Indivisible Salinas Valley. And we are out on North Main and Hardin Parkway every Wednesday from 4:30 to 5:30 until, at least until the election, until the motherfucker's gone. I'm sorry. You know.
Say it.
And also on Fridays at the bridge at Mount Toro High School with the Bridge Brigade and signs. You're welcome to join us, and we would love to have Protect Salinas out there with us. Bring your signs. It would be awesome.
It's a great idea.
I love you guys.
Hello everybody, my name is George Villa. I'm a concerned constituent here in Salinas. I'm also a homeowner. I also work for a MILPA organization, but I'm here because I know the young people are very impacted by what's happening with the renter stabilization, and there's also some city council, as Peter mentioned, that are bought off and that are dishonest. So we have to do something about that. It's not fair, and I'm also here because we all deserve our democracy. We all deserve everything that we pay for, and it's just not a good time right now that what we're going through. But I also believe in the power of each and everybody here, the power of connection, the power of bringing people together. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ben Nurse. Many things. I'm a father, thankfully. I'm also a real estate broker, California real estate broker. And what that means for me is that I track this stuff nationally. I'm a national commercial residential broker. So when we're talking about the fight for, housing justice in California, it's the same investment corporations. It's actually the same CalPERS and retirement accounts that own these apartment buildings, and it's doing it across the country. So the same managers who are raising your rent every $200 every month, it's a national issue. But what I really like about Protect Salinas Renters, like Chago said, we started this back in 23, 24, and it was a collaboration. It was a whole community. It was the council bringing in consultants, and it isn't just about renters, it's about our community, right? It's about everyone supporting and uplifting everybody. So that's what really excites me about it, why I get involved in it. Because when we talk to the residents and we tell them about the ordinances, we hear the stories of how they're suffering. Folks go on their uniforms, they go to the farms, they go to teach, they go to the hotels, but we don't know where they're sleeping, right? We don't know what their lives are really like outside of that workplace. We see them, they're clean, they look like they have it together, but Are they living out of a gym bag? We don't know that. But when we tell them about what we're doing, they're like, thank you, because they don't have the time to do this, right? So we're doing it for our community. So that's what excites me. I think we have a real opportunity to keep these ordinances in place, because like you said, they are in place and we can use them. But Salinas is being looked at as an example of what we can do in the Central Valley, throughout the state, and other groups in Southern California, Tenants Together, they're looking at us and assisting us with this. And I think it's a fight like Chago jokes about. Once we win this one, we'll take it on the road, right? Take it down to South County, we'll take it to the Valley. But I know that this is what is necessary throughout the state and actually throughout the country. And it is the same ordinances, the same thing is what tenants need everywhere. So I'm really excited for the folks here and for all the support and the work that we're doing together. I'm actually inspired when I come to the volunteer meetings, and it keeps me really excited. So thank you all for being here. I'm glad to be part of this with you.
I'd like to add a couple things. By trade, I'm a real estate agent too. And I've ran for mayor twice. And my own real estate association doesn't endorse me because of what I represent. I represent the community. I represent all of you. I represent the normal person, you know, the working class person. And so I hear conversations when, well, back when you could raise the rent 10%, that time of the year would always come around, and I would ask, why are you raising rents? Oh, because we can. Because we can. Now they can't. From 10% down to 2.75 right now, you know. And yes, nothing's ever perfect. The 4 ordinances aren't perfect. It's problematic. But nothing, you know, just like I said, nothing's ever perfect, but, you know, the system isn't built for us. It's built for the rich and the powerful. You know, what we have right now is something very inspiring, it's very hopeful, and to keep it this way, we're all going to have to do our part in educating everybody, in spreading the word, and voting no to repeal the ordinances. Okay? Let's see. This is like a David and Goliath issue. You know, the other side's saying that they're going to raise $2 million to defeat this. Right now, they're calling people up.
Money to burn.
Right now, they're calling people up doing polls. You know, I received a text yesterday saying with all the 10 questions, and I'm going to be sharing that with you later on. You know, with our time, together. And these questions are so mixed up. They're geared to confuse everybody. You know, yes means no and no means yes. I mean, what the hell? You know, I mean, we're striving to better our community, and we are doing our best to keep people housed, and the other side just has money to burn. Let's just play games. Let's play games. So at this time, the music is going to continue.
Yeah.
The waitresses are going to go around and get your orders. Enjoy your time here. Mingle, make friends, enjoy. Thank you.
Where we're at right now with this, you know, we are hitting the road. We're actually hitting the streets, you know. Doing some door knocking, canvassing. We're going to be canvassing next weekend. We want to make sure that folks will be getting those alerts. I know that a couple of groups or community groups like Milpa, some of our students at Salinas, at Heart Now, we're trying to reach out, connect with our students at Salinas Union High School District. You know, our community is 53% of the population are renters. So the education is going to be hard. We're going to go hard on the education, and we're going to just double down on that voter registration as well. Because a lot of the folks that we get to speak to and talk to about the ordinances, many of which, as you may know, are not registered or are not documented, don't have the access to vote, but their children do. So, this is the charge, this is where we're going. We really, hopefully that you can take some of this information. Every one of y'all, just take some of this information. Get on, if you're not on Instagram, get on that Instagram. It's really not that hard. And then share that link. Get others to jump in on that Instagram. And it is that hard, well, depending on who you talk to, but you know, we can all lean on somebody. Instagram, Facebook.
Scan the code.
Scan the code. Scan the QR code to the voter registration. Many of our folks might have changed their information, so we want to update that information for your voter reg. You have more questions about the ordinances. There's a QR code that will take you straight to the Salinas City website with more details. Actually, there's a page there where tenants can fill out a petition, a file to petition, all right? Meaning, hey, it looks like I live in a 1995 or older apartment building complex, but it doesn't look like I haven't received anything from my landlord yet. Let me go ahead and download this petition, fill it out, send it to the city, to the rental registry department, and they'll process it. It's the documentation, getting that process going. And then we also have our website to contribute, to make sure to get on our mailing list, and to just keep up with what we're doing. We can't risk, you know, the misinformation. Can't risk allowing that misinformation to go out. We already know how much, we expect how much money the opposition is already investing in confusing our population. It is gonna be a challenge, but hey, we got over 10,000 plus signatures of registered voters in Salinas in less than a month. I think we can vote no, make sure to vote no on the repeal this November 3rd. All right? Yeah or nay? Yeah. Okay. Boom. Anything else, Chris?
Yes. Once again, thank you, Anthony. Boy, I miss Anthony. I miss Anthony being in that District 6 seat. A hell of a lot better than what we have now. You know, keep in mind, representation is everything. Representation is everything, right? This year, the mayor seat is up for grabs. District
2, 3, and 5.
District 2, District 3, and District 5. Our very own Andrew Sandoval is, he's like on, he's on an island all by himself. You know, he needs some help, you know, so it's up to us to get him some help. And don't forget, 2 recalls going on right now. 2 recalls. It's time to get District 1 person out of there, and also at the Board of Supervisors. Both of those people need to be replaced. Neither of them support Protect Salinas Renters. And also, right now, the other side, with all their money, they can afford to send out these polling questions. People are actually calling people with confusing questions. You know, like I said, yes means no, no means yes. They ask you if you live in Salinas. They ask you, has anybody received those phone calls? Daniel, can you go ahead and let us know some of the questions, and then after that?
So they called me and they asked me about the mayor who I'm voting for, and obviously I said myself. And then they asked me. They started to go into both sides of the argument for and against the renters ordinances. Now they had a lot of. They read off the scare tactics is what they did. You know, they read off the list of scare tactics. They said, oh, well, everybody on the rental registry, ICE is going to come and get them because their information is public now. And they also said something about the rates going up on all the real estate locally. I mean, they said the opposition side, and then they got into reading Protect Salinas Renters side. So they did give both arguments, but they also asked about whether I support capitalism or socialism. They asked that question as well too, and I told them socialism all day long, because it's for the people, right?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not in the middle. I'm not in the middle. I mean, it's either us or the people against the money. So I'm for the people. Of course, I'm in favor of socialism over capitalism. So what else did they ask me?
You have your vote.
No, they asked me what I was going to vote for, and I said I'm voting no to the repeal. So that's what they asked me, and yeah, they're going to keep making phone calls, and they're going to keep trying to get people to give them I mean, I honestly don't know why they're even doing it, because I mean, it's on the ballot no matter what, so I don't know why they're spending so much money. You think for the confusion? Yeah, probably, but yeah, that's what they told me pretty much. It was just both sides of the argument, and then they wanted to know, a couple of other things, but yeah, that's what they asked me.
Like kind of leading questions to try to see if they could confuse me. Luckily, I know what the deal is, so I didn't have to. I ended up hanging up on the woman because she was not very professional.
All right.
It sounded like she was from somewhere else.
Has anybody else received phone calls? All right, so we have this campaign fundraising goal, and right now we were at 29,750. I do know, well, Chocolate, where are we at right now?
We should be, after today, we should be at least, I don't know, depending on how much we're going to give on our way out, because, we can always contribute more. We want to get up to at least, because right now it's 29,750. We'll get into the 30s, we'll get into the 32, 34s, and hopefully get up to our goal. Chris said 2 million. We were expecting 2 million. Hey, they may have money, but we got people. Right, Anthony?
People power.
People power.
Right, they got the money, we got the people.
There it is. So, again, if you can, please send links of our website, because it'll give you the opportunity to contribute more. Pass it on. Pass that information on. Education, registration, and contributions to make this happen.
And also, please share all this valuable information. For those of you that received my text, all you gotta do is copy and paste, and then send it to people that you think would be interested in your phone. That's what I do. Sometimes I just start with the A's and go down all the way down to the Z's, and it takes me probably 4 or 5 days. Sometimes I fall asleep with the phone in my hand, but I wake up and I keep on doing it until like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I know I'm irritating a few people, but you know what? The community's worth it, right? And then add the link and add the little picture. Our next fundraiser is going to be August 29th at Hacienda Restaurant. We're going to have a comedy night. All right, so I hope to see all of you there. The tickets are $25 each. Andrew Sandoval is going to be a guest. Is going to be doing a guest appearance. He's kind of funny at times, but we're going to have.
You notice he's not here to hear that.
Yeah, he took off. He knew I was going to say that. And so we're going to have 4 comedians there, 4 well-known comedians. So come out, support PSR, or support the community. And thank you everyone for coming.
And one more thing, August 7th. August 7th, we're expecting the city of Salinas to release the identity of what to vote on, right? Or they're gonna either put a letter on it or put a number on it. So August 7th, you might be able to watch, folks who are watching this, they might see it before August 7th or after August 7th. Either way, it's a no, all right? No on whatever that number or letter is going to be.
And then after we find that out, what are we going to do then?
We're just doubling down. We just keep knocking, just keep educating.
And then we're going to be ordering our signs.
And we're ordering our signs. Yes, ordering the signs. You'll be seeing more. Right now, you see something like this. It says "Vote No, Protect Salinas Renters." Well, then expect to see something like "Vote No on boom, 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 Protect Salinas Renters.
Yes. All right. Any other comments or questions?
Chris, can I make a comment?
Yes, Eric.
About the recall. The way recalls work in California is not only is whether or not to kick somebody out of office on the ballot, but there's also an election for the person to replace that person if they are recalled. So we've got to start thinking about supporting candidates for 2 recalls, and we can be assured that they're going to look for a Barajas clone if they can find somebody else that bad. And we're also going to have to find somebody for supervisor.
Right.
And so we're going to be supporting even more candidates.
Yep. All right, so.
Smart move, smart move.
With that, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Until then, I'll see you on August 29th. Have a great day. Bye.
My name is Andres, full name Andres Benito Llanes, but I usually just go by Andres. You can find me on Instagram at @that_1Llanes. You'll find my stuff there. I don't publish music, I just like play it because it's fun. Yeah.
that she would see dogs come back to people, and she would realize that somebody was just doing that. So she said that she was surprised every single day when she seen her clients, because she goes, that's why I was such a love again. And she's like, she didn't even realize that I was being I thought I was helping, I thought I was about a solution to help with the population. She didn't realize that I was she's like, I would break down in the way that she's happy unless they have a good foundation.
afternoon to raise funds for Protect Salinas Renters. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, give it up, Protect Salinas Renters. Tell your friends to follow us. Okay, just do Wednesday.
And I said, you don't. I said, there was a church in downtown. I always said you the best for it. And he said, why is that's it. They give everybody, they, which and
everything's done in-house, and then all the profits go back to us instead of paying $20 to do something that really costs 7 or 8. So they're making a profit. They are making profits at the end of the day. They're not underbidding the house. They're over the price what you got. So a lot of times it's messed up roads. I was so angry. If you go to Harlem, the slurry seal is so I particularly I'm always and all that stuff. I mean, that just shows that they rush. They didn't take the time to like make sure that they were only doing so much like straight up.
Yeah, we got to give.